areas in the interior, okay? They used to travel different, long distances from different areas in the interior to the coast. And again, from the coast to the interior. Are you getting it? We also had some Arabs coming from Sudan, from Egypt to Africa, to East Africa, and then they could also buy and take what they didn't have, and the means of exchange at that time were majorly barter. They were exchanging goods for goods. They did not have money as a medium of exchange, no. But I've been telling you that heading is self-explanatory. Long distance trade. People used it to walk long distances. At times they could take months or even a year. Are you getting it? They could take months or even a year moving from one place to the other destination. So the long distance in trade. We will look at the goods that were involved, okay, from Africa, from Europe and Asia. We'll look at all those goods. But before we look at that, I need to now, this peak you see here is a peak of people from the interior of East Africa carrying ivory to the coast. And that is how they used it to do the trade. These people could carry the ivory to the coast. And you know what happened, and which is funny? After carrying the ivory to the coast, they could also be sold as slaves. Are you getting it? So you are carrying the goods to the coast, and after taking the goods there, then you are also sold as a slave. So that is how it happened. And you can see people are now walking, and they are carrying this, carrying the ivory. Okay. Here is our brief introduction that I can give you, but I've already talked about some of the things in here. And here it goes that long distance trade was the exchange of trade goods between communities over long distances. For example, between the East African interior and the East African coast. This was a trade that was carried out between the coastal merchants and the interior tribes of Eastern Africa. It followed the long distances from the interior to the coast, as well as within the interior. Long distances, we've emphasized that one. Long distances, people moved long distances from the interior to the coast and within the interior. From Uganda to Kenya, Kenya to Namibia, from Namibia, you get it, to Zimbabwe, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and all, Tanganyika. So people used it to move long distances, okay? That is why we are calling it the long distance trade, okay? Yeah, maybe briefly, we can also, so I can tell you that it developed around the first half of the 19th century. Now, I don't know whether you people know what we mean by the 19th century. I would like to hear from you, whether you people know that when someone talks about the 19th century, do you know the year, the exact year someone talks about when he or she talks about the 19th century? Who can tell us the 19th century? Which year are we talking about? Are we talking about 1900? Okay, the century. Not actually the century. I think it should be. Okay, someone I think has the answer here. Pius. You can unmute yourself, Pius. Oh, sorry. Pius, unmute yourself again.
I think the 19th century is like 1900.
1900. Okay, thank you for that. Let me first hear from others. I have Birunji. You can also tell us what you know.
I think 19th century means 1800.
1800. Okay, thank you, Birunji. Let me first also hear from this one here. Okay, I have Jonathan. You can unmute yourself.
It means 1800.
1800. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Let me also hear from another person. Daphne, you can unmute yourself.
Teacher, I think it's 1900.
1900. Okay, we are ending here because I've already got the answer from you people. Thank you for those who have contributed, but we are talking about 1800. Okay, not in 1900. It is 1800. The moment you hear someone talking about the 19th century, we are talking about 1800. Okay, thank you for those who have contributed. Thank you for those who have contributed. These others, you can lower your hands. Okay. So we are talking about 1800. So the moment you hear someone talking about 19th century, automatically we are talking about 1800. Now we are saying that the trade developed around the first half of the 19th century. First half. Now the first half is again another point to note. First half of the 19th century. Here we are looking at the beginning years of 1800. Okay, from 1800 to 1850. So the moment you hear someone saying the first half of the 19th century, we are talking about 1800 to 1850. Are you getting it? So it developed between 1800 and 1850. In between there, that is when the trade developed in the interior of East Africa. Yes, thank you for those that gave the answers here in the chat. Trisha gave us the right answer, 1800. Then Michaela also gave us the right answer, 1800. Thank you so much for those that have contributed. Okay, now that we have seen this trade, now that we have introduced the long distance trade, now that we know what it means, a trade that involved moving long distances, we need to look at okay, before I look at the factors, but we need to know the areas, okay, from where to where. Are you getting it? So now when you look at this map here, we are looking at people that came from north. You can see Arab traders. There is an arrow around here. Those ones were now Arabs coming from the north to the interior of East Africa. The moment, let me see from the chat. Mary has also given us the right answer. Okay, thank you. It involved the Arabs from the north. You can see they came to Bunyolo. Then you can see Bunyolo, Buganda around there. Okay. Then you can also see arrows from the coast, okay, to the interior, from the coast here now to Buganda, Bunyolo again. Then you can see from the coast to Burundi, Rwanda around here. Then you can see again from the coast to Kenya, where there is this arrow. Then you can see to West Africa, Namibia, okay. You can see then Zimbabwe, Zambia, you know. So you can see people, and by that they were just walking. Just imagine someone walking from the coast this way, Mombasa, Kilwa, Mogadishu this side, then to Namibia, then to Zimbabwe, then to Buganda, Bunyolo. You understand it? So they used to move long distances, okay? And that is why you can even see there is another arrow here that is going to South Africa. Are you getting it? Of course, this is Tanzania, but again, they could go to South Africa, then to Southwest Africa. So they traveled very long distances, okay? Now, from there, we now have an expansion of the long distance trade. Now, I'm waiting for you people to at least give us some of the factors that led to the growth and expansion of the long distance trade, okay? If people have read ahead of us and they know some of the reasons, some of the factors that contributed to the expansion of the long distance trade, I am waiting for you. The first one is Ryan. Rian, you can unmute. Rian, unmute yourself. Yes, Rian.
Shortage of hostile tribes.
Shortage of hostile tribes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rian, for that contribution. Okay, the hostile tribes, they were there, but there is a way they were also benefiting from this trade. Okay, thank you. I have Jonathan. You can unmute yourself. Jonathan, please unmute yourself. Sorry, Jonathan.
Availability of slaves who were used to carry the goods.
Availability of slaves that used to carry the goods. Okay, thank you for that. Yes, people to carry the goods were there. People to carry the goods were there, and that one also facilitated the trade. Okay, thank you. Franca.
African kings and chiefs who are benefiting from.
Yes, Franca has actually given us a point that African chiefs were benefiting from the trade. It is true. It is true that chiefs were benefiting, and that is one reason why the trade developed. Okay, people like Nyungu ya Mawe. Okay, people like those African chiefs benefited a lot from this trade. Okay, Ben, you can unmute yourself.
There was enough security because people moved in caravans.
Thank you. Enough security. Why? Because people moved in caravans. Yes, between 100 to 1,000. And if you were to attack them, then you were supposed to be prepared so much. Are you getting it? So they were moving in caravans between 100 to 1,000. And it was a bit hard for these people to be attacked. But of course, wild animals attacked them. Yeah, that one you can't rule it out. Okay. A moment from the chart. The need to exchange commodities between the different commodities. Yes. This is from Eliza. Thank you. That is true. Then, oh, okay. Who else? Okay. Okay, Narutaya. You can unmute yourself. Narutaya. Okay.
Similarly, foreign goods such as guns, beads, and clothes were on a high demand, and so people had to move long distance in search for them.
Yes, goods from outside East Africa were on high demand. Okay, people in the interior needed the guns to defend themselves. They needed the mirrors, the beads, and the different goods that were coming from outside East Africa. So simply because these goods were on high demand, people had to travel long distances in order to get these goods. Thank you so much, and now time. Then I have Yogi, Gifty, and Joel. You can unmute.
What if I say that there was no monetary, or there was no currency to use when trading, so it encouraged exchange of goods, and yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, for you are looking at exchanging. Okay, maybe you've a little bit diverted from what we are looking at. For you, you've set a different question. Why were they using barter system? That there was no money. That is why they were exchanging goods for goods. But anyway, thank you for that. I have J Styles. You can unmute yourself. AJ.
Presence of plenty of trade items to the interior.
Yes, presence of plenty of items. The goods were so many in the interior. The production of these goods was high. Are you getting it? They produced in surplus, and the surplus needed to be exchanged. That is why these people carried out the long distance trade. And the reason why they were producing surpluses is because they had embarked on what we call specialization and division of labor. Once there is a specialization and division of labor, people concentrate on the production of one item that they know more, and then they end up producing a lot because they are efficient. When you are efficient, you end up producing a lot. So they produced the surpluses that needed to be exchanging. Thank you so much. Thank you for that contribution. Jacqueline, unmute yourself.
The trade was cheap but profitable.
The trade was profitable. Okay, we can take that. The trade was profitable. Yes. People were getting a lot of profits. Those involved were getting a lot of profits from this trade. That is why it was carried out. That is true. There is no doubt that they were getting a lot of money. Okay. Mirambo, Nyungu ya Mawe, then Saidi. These people got a lot of money, okay, from this trade. A moment from the chat. Timothy talks about high taxes placed, but high taxes instead discourage the trade. High taxes discourage the trade. Then Opoi, what are surpluses? Oh, okay. Too much, producing more than what you can consume. So what is left is what we are referring to as surplus. Okay. So the surplus had to be exchanged. That is from Opio. Then Timothy talks about I've not got to what we are saying, Timothy. Then from Victor, division of labor among East Africans facilitated the development of long distance trade. Yes, this is true. I've just talked about it when I was explaining that there was a specialization and division of labor where people concentrated on what they can produce better, and they ended up producing a lot. Okay. That is from the chat. Now coming back to people's hands, I have Abdallah. You can unmute yourself.
It was profitable to the chiefs and kings because they didn't invest much, but they got more.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That the chiefs were getting a lot of money. You understand, from this trade. They were, we may not actually call it money, wealth. They were getting a lot of wealth from this trade because they had not invested in a lot, but they were getting a lot of money. I mean, wealth. That is why they ended up participating in the trade, and it developed. Marse?
Presence of cheap labor.
Presence of cheap labor. Yes. They were getting slaves free of charge. Okay. They were getting slaves free of charge. They could carry the goods to the post, and then in turn they could also be sold as slaves. Yeah, that one is among the points. Note. I have Deborah. You can unmute yourself. Deborah. Unmute yourself.
was working within the and the
Sorry, Deborah, I've not heard. Deborah, please come again. Deborah, please come again. Oh, sorry, Deborah, you are breaking. Sorry, you are breaking. I have not heard what you've been trying to say. Sorry about that, Deborah. Then Hawa, Nalutaya, Aisha, unmute yourself.
The opening of trade routes in the interior enables traders to reach all corners, and this enables them to collect and transport their goods.
Yes, thank you so much for that. The opening up of trade routes. Before, the routes were impassable. You understand it? But now they had these routes worked on very well, and then trade was carried out smoothly. Okay. Frank.
Elephants that were killed for ivory.
Oh, Frank, I have not heard what you've been saying. Please come again.
Elephants that were killed for ivory.
Yes. Okay. Elephants that were killed for ivory. I don't know that, Frank, you are talking about these elephants being there. That we had so many elephants that were to be killed for ivory. Well, Benny.
Some people wanted to explore other new neighboring communities.
Okay, exploration. Thank you so much, Ben. Exploration is also a point. Yeah, exploration. They wanted to explore, to know what was beyond their areas of residence. That is why they came into East Africa and they ended up carrying out trade with the interior people. Jimmy is asking, what is long distance trade? Jimmy, this is what we began with. We began by introducing and we talked about the long distance trade. But anyway, briefly, it is called the long distance trade simply because people use it to move long distances from one end to the other for the goods, okay? Then Amanya, some people wanted the new goods. Yes, to find who to exchange with, so they moved long distances. Yeah, in the interior, you could find that what you had was what even the neighbor had. And you could not exchange something that you have. Interior people had skins and hides. You could go to South Africa, the same. Come to Buganda, Uganda, the same. Go to Kenya, the same. Now, Ugandans could not exchange hides for hides again with the Kenyans. They could not exchange, maybe say, what else? Ivory for ivory. But they had to exchange ivory for some other goods like beads, mirrors, guns, and all that. But where could they get the guns, beads, and mirrors at the cost? So that is why they ended up moving long distances. Thank you, Ainaviona, for that. Then where was the main place? Where was the main place for long distance trading? Oh, the main place, we cannot actually talk about a place. We are looking at the interior of East Africa and even beyond East Africa. We have seen people moving as far as South Africa, Southwest Africa, Namibia. We have seen Arabs coming from the north. You understand, eh? So we cannot talk about a specific place. But what you should note is that we are majorly talking about East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Okay. Then there was cooperation and good working relations between the interior tribes. Yes, this is another point, and it is very true. There was a cooperation between the interior people and the people at the coast. That is why the trade, that is why there was this trade. Okay. Another hand from Grace. Grace, you can unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir. Now,
Yes.
presence of fertile soils in areas where they moved so as to increase on the fertility in order to
Okay. You are talking about fertile soils. Oh, fertile soils. We may not take that one. Okay, we may not take that one. Yeah, yes. We are looking. Another person is Mark Opira. Mark Opira.
Zanzibar's question of market for a wide range of goods and playing the middleman role help long distance trades to develop.
Yes, that one is another good point. Thank you. That Zanzibar came up as a middle person, people from that area as middlemen, and then they provided the market for the goods that were coming from the interior to the coast of East Africa. Okay, so yes, the market, in other words, is the main point we are looking at here. There was marketing, and of course, the market at the coast forced people to move all the way from the interior to the coast of East Africa. Proceed. 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 You can unmute yourself and then give us your contribution. Oh, Procy, I think Procy has issues there. You can lower your hand. Then I have Ndifna Ismail. You can unmute yourself.
Sir, the trade involves oriented goods like guns, which ensure their security.
Sorry, Isma, I've heard the last words, but the beginning ones I've not heard them.
Sir, the trade involves oriented goods from Europe, like guns and gunpowder, which ensure their security.
Goods from the interior that I've not actually heard very well the last words again. But anyway, that the trade involved goods from the from outside, such as guns. Yeah, guns were needed, so much needed by the people of the interior for protection, and that is why they had to move all the way to the coast to get these goods that they didn't have. Okay, Narutaya, how are you coming back with another contribution? You can unmute. Or you didn't lower your hands. Okay, maybe this for never.
The settlement of demand of slaves.
The settlement of Saidi, okay, in Zanzibar. That one facilitated the trade. Yes, and Saidi created the market for the goods from the interior and the slaves themselves, by the way. Okay. So we've had a lot from you people. I don't know whether there is anything new because we are just repeating ourselves. Most of what people have already contributed is what you are repeating. Maybe, okay, Ben, you have something new?
Some people practice the long distance trade due to love for adventure.
Love for adventure. Okay, yes, thank you, Ben, for that. But we have already talked about that as exploration. We talked about it, but thank you, nevertheless. We've got that again from you. Grace, anything new? Grace, you can unmute yourself.
Teacher, development of The development and growth of Zanzibar as a trade market center that led to the growth of long distance trade.
Okay. Grace is also talking about Zanzibar as a market center. Yes, we've talked about this one also. I've already told you that Zanzibar became a market center for the goods from the interior, and again, a center of the goods that came from outside. So people had to travel all the way from the interior of East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, to the coast, and then you get these goods that were in the market at the coast of East Africa. Okay, anything again new from Jacqueline? Jacqueline?
The desire of elites to find the final luxury items.
The desire to find the
luxury items.
The desire to find luxury items. Okay, luxury items. Luxury like what? I've not actually. Okay. Oh, Grace, are you coming back? Grace, are you coming back with another point?
Yes,
teacher.
The development and spread of Kiswahili. The development and spread of Kiswahili language with simplified communication.
Development and spread of Kiswahili language. That is simplified communication. Yeah, that one we can take it. Yes, it is a good point. There was a language that they used as a medium of communication. And without it, it would have been a little bit hard for the traders to carry out this trade smoothly. But don't you think we are repeating ourselves? We also need to look at another segment. From this one, there is something else that we also want to look at. Okay, I'm only looking at someone who has not yet contributed. I have those that have not yet contributed. Okay, there is okay, Etum.
What was that language they used?
The language we've talked about is Swahili. Etum, please, can you unmute yourself? You've unmuted. Your contribution. Hey, again, you've muted. Oh, okay. So thank you for all your contributions. Let us try to look at this information here, and then we'll go and look at something else apart from this. Tribes in East Africa produced surplus goods. Someone has already given this point here, and I've explained it. We may not waste a lot of time there. Okay, from the chat, teacher, I knew here is this. No, this is only senior 1. Senior 2, no, this is only senior 1. Then someone is saying, was slavery practiced long distance trade? Yes, it was also part of the trade, because I've already told you that those that carried the goods to the coast could also be sold as slaves. Okay. Okay. They were looking for better settlement from Angela. Better settlement. One we have already said. Okay, so I'm now back to this information here. Point number 1, I've already explained it. Okay. Point number 1, I've already explained it. Then this is number 2. The goods from outside, foreign goods from outside, such as guns, beads, and clothes, were on high demand. We have already explained that point. Okay, the high demand of the goods from outside. We have seen that one. The all trade routes in the interior. Yes, I've explained that one. And of course, this facilitated the movement, okay, of the caravans and the trade had it to develop simply because of that. So you can now see the trade routes we are talking about. You can see the caravans moving the other side, okay? And the way they have tied the ropes in their necks or the sticks in their necks. First of all, they are carrying, okay? Some of them are carrying, others are not. But I think these ones were being taken as slaves, okay? In picture one, then the second picture on the right, people carrying the ivory, as you can see. And these are the routes we are talking about, the ones they are using, okay? There is this one here, division of labor. We have explained this one already. And I've already told you that division of labor led to efficiency, and then there was a production of a lot, surplus production, which surplus needed to be exchanged, okay? The introduction of guns, we have given this point, okay? And it improved the security in the what? In the interior. Then the nature of the terrain, this one has not been given, okay? The nature of the terrain, meaning that the landscape was flat. They could not climb mountains as well as carry goods, no. So they were moving in without hardships, okay? Most especially the Nyamwezi area there in Tanzania. Cooperation and good working relationship. We have already given this point, okay? The settlement of Saidi in Zanzibar. Yes, we've given this one. And of course, Saidi was buying slaves and so many other goods from the interior. That is why the trade developed. And there is an image of this man called Saidi, okay? I think you are seeing him, Saidi, that is the image of this man who was buying the slaves and at the same time buying goods from the interior, okay? There was traditional love for traveling. Yes, we have given this point. Love for adventure. There are those that wanted you to travel long distances to discover what was beyond their areas of settlement, okay? And for example, there is the Yawo there, as you can see. That one led to development of the long distance trade. Isaiah was, no, that one we have already answered it. Was slavery practiced? We answered this one here, okay? Isaiah, I told you, yes. There is this other point here. Zanzibar's creation, yes, we've been giving this point. That Zanzibar came in and then it became a market for the goods from the interior and then from outside the interior. Then some societies had superior skills that enabled them to make superior products compared to their neighbors, like high quality iron products that were demanded by other societies. Some societies could produce goods which other societies could not, meaning that the societies that produced were exchanging these goods with what they could not produce. And this also led to the development of the long distance trade. Now, these activities are there according to the books we sent you, the prototypes, but I will also give you an activity that I think we will be doing. Now, we've got only 17 minutes and they're enough to look at the organization of this trade. Now, I would like to hear from you. Do you know how this trade was organized? If you know how the trade was organized, please, you can share with us and we see whether you know how the trade was organized. Okay, Franca?
It was organized under centralized societies.
Under centralized societies. Okay, thank you for that. But of course, even the decentralized societies were part of the trade, okay? Grace? Grace, you can unmute.
Kiswahili was used as the major language of communication.
Yeah, Kiswahili was used as the major language of communication. That is part of what was in the trade, but we have not clearly seen how the trade was organized. Deborah? Yes, Deborah.
Yawo, Chaga, Luo, Zinza, Uganda, Sudanese, known as the customers, and other small interior trades which traded with the Arabs.
Sorry, Deborah, you're breaking. You are breaking. We've not been in position to hear you very well. I don't know that. Oh, sorry, Deborah, we cannot hear you. We've not actually heard what you've been saying. Sorry? Unfortunately, Deborah, you are breaking. Sorry about that. We can't hear anything from Deborah. Okay. Jacqueline, you can unmute yourself. Jacqueline. Jacqueline, please unmute yourself.
That trade was organized by small interior tribes who traded with the Arabs and Swahili from the coast.
Okay, that one is part of what we want to look at. It was between the interior communities and the Arabs at the coast. And again, between the interior people themselves also, from one society to the other, from the other society to the other, within the interior also, okay? Thank you for that. Okay, then Kimera. Andrew Kimera. Andrew Kimera, please unmute yourself.
They use butter trade. They have unlimited.
Okay. Okay, thank you. They used the barter trade. Yes, they were exchanging goods for goods. Okay, they were exchanging goods for goods. Indeed, they never had the money to work as a medium of exchange. Aisha. How are Aisha?
The trade was organized on a caravan basis.
On a caravan basis. Thank you so much. Yes, people could carry goods in numbers. You understand? You know, they could get a group of people to carry goods to the coast and all that. Thank you. Nakato.
Yes, teacher. The Akamba were the communities that participated in long distance trade.
Okay, thank you. The Akamba were part of the groups of people that participated in the long distance trade. Yes. I have Arthur. Arthur. Arthur, please unmute. Arthur is not unmuting. Nakato,
Teacher, I forgot to lower my hand.
Yes, you forgot to lower the hand. Okay, thank you. Then okay. Mase.
Some Africans joined the trade due to love of adventure.
Okay. Some people joined the trade as a result of love for adventure. Okay. Williams, unmute yourself.
Teacher, they had prosperous traders like Chief Kivo, who is remembered for organizing the trade.
Yes, some traders who are strong. The chiefs that were strong enough that organized them. Okay. Now, In the interest of time, allow me give you what I have for you here. And there is one thing you should note. When we are looking at the organization, it is almost similar to the course, okay? Almost similar to the course. And when we are looking at a course, in most cases, we are chronological. We begin with the event that started to the event that came in last, okay? And of course, with the organization, okay, we may not so much emphasize the chronology, we may not, but it is better if there is that chronology to follow it, okay? Like you begin with the event that came in first, the event that came in last. Okay, now I can show you how I did this. I had to break it down in 2 points, and when you break it down in 2 points, it becomes easy for the to understand. Here was composed of caravans between 100 to 1,000 men to and from the coast. So we are saying it was called the long distance trade. Yes. Why? Because of the type of transport they were using. They were moving from one area to the other, but again moving long distances. And these distances could be moved. I mean, people could move in caravans. Okay. Let me see. Your speaker is not working. Okay, you will work out that. Then there is this other point here that the always took months or even a year to reach the coast. Yes, we talked about this. It took them time to travel from the interior to the coast. There are those that came from Sudan up there, then to East Africa. But those ones, we may not so much look at them because we are majorly looking at East Africa. But East Africans were not trading alone. That is why sometimes we bring in elements of people who are coming from outside. We are looking at trade, goods coming from outside East Africa. That is the reason why sometimes we even talk about countries outside East Africa. Okay, I have a hand, and this is Williams. Okay, Williams.
Teacher, if I say.
Yes.
Most of the goods the Maraka traded were either locally produced or exported.
Most of the goods were either locally produced or exported or imported, something like that. Okay, what you do there, that point is actually should be put under the trade items. When you're talking about the trade items from East Africa, that comes under items. Okay. There is this other statement here that trade was organized by the Nyamweza, Kamba, Yawo, Luo, Kikuyu, Zinza, Baganda, Sudanese, also known as Katumas, and other slaves who traded with the Arabs and Swahili from the coast. I think you've seen most of the groups of people that got involved in the trade. The Kamba, the Yawo, the Chaga, the Luo, Kikuyu, Zinza, Baganda, Sudanese, Katuma, okay, also known as Katumas, no, from Katuma, I think that is why they were called Katumas, okay? So we are saying these are the groups of people that got involved in this trade, and it was such a profitable trade. We have this other information here, that the trade involved foreign goods. And are you seeing it included? Guns, clothes, glassware, beads, plates, swords, brass, and gunpowder. Okay? One would ask me brass. Brass, I think, is actually not thinking, is a mineral. One of the minerals, okay? And I think it is composed of zinc and which other component. But anyway, it is also a mineral. And yes, these are the goods that came from Europe, okay? Then we have from the interior goods such as slaves, ivory, waxy, hides, skins, salty, honey, and iron implements, among others. We are just giving a few of the goods that these people exchanged for what they never had. Are you getting it? Slaves, ivory. And now when you look at the slaves, now this answers the question of someone who wrote in the chat that was slaves part of the trade. I think you can see from here, slaves, ivory. But anyway, I am answering that one of slaves, and I've already told you that the people that carried the ivory to the coast and other goods to the coast could also be sold at the end as slaves. Okay. These are some of the goods. We've only cited the beads. As you can see, those are beads, and those were majorly coming from Europe. Okay. Then slaves were a key commodity. Still emphasizing the other thing. Slaves were a key commodity needed by Asians in this trade. Slaves were a key commodity, meaning that slaves were involved, or slave trade was part of the long distance trade. We are saying they negotiated it with interior chiefs like Mirambo, Misili, Titipu, Nyungu ya Mawe, Kabaka Mutesa the First, among others. These were interior leaders, chiefs, and many of them have been left out because we can't look at all these interior chiefs. The interior had different communities, and these different communities had different chiefs. Okay. But of course, the major ones have been given to you, Nyungu ya Mawe, Kabaka, then there is Mirambo, okay? So this is the leaders that negotiated the trade with the Arabs and Asians from outside. Then the trade was conducted on barter system. Yes, I remember someone talking about it, and it is very true. The trade was conducted on barter system of exchange. Why? They didn't have money. That is why they were exchanging goods for goods, goods for goods. Okay. Then later on, cowl shells and coins were introduced, and these ones worked as money now. Are you getting it? To get the goods, you could give in the cowl shells, and then you are given the goods. Are you getting it? So cowl shells and then later on coins worked as the money. Okay. Now the activity, I will give you an activity, but these are some of the activities in the prototype that we sent you. They are all here. And what you do, I believe you downloaded that prototype. What you do, you try out these numbers on your own. Okay. Yeah, you try out these numbers on your own, and you know how to do it. Go to the internet and get some of these, you will have to get this information from the internet. When you go to the internet and then just insert in or just click on the long distance trade, or you will put in the long distance trade, they will give you all this information. So try them out, but I will also give you an activity after this lesson. Okay, so we've come to the end of this lesson, and of course our time is almost up, unless someone has got from the chat. Teacher, will you send this work on Google Classroom? Oh, unfortunately, there is that book, there is that prototype that we send, okay, on Google Classroom. The moment you go there and download that book, it has got this information. Okay, and that is the reason why we uploaded that book at the beginning, at the very beginning. In fact, even before the beginning of the lessons, we uploaded this information for you people. So this information is there. So I may not actually resend the same information. Maybe you wanted the way it is organized this with the slides. Okay, Grace, you can unmute yourself. I can see your hand is up. Grace, try to.
Excuse teacher, I've not seen the activity.
Oh, you've not seen the activity?
I've not seen the activity.
Oh, you did not download the book? Oh, but anyway, you will need to download that book. It is already there. It will be easy for you because most of the information is got from that book, okay? Okay, I'm going to show you the activities. They are here.
Yes.
You can see from here. From here, there is number 1, number 2, number 3. I think you can see them, okay? Opio. You can unmute yourself. Yes. I can see your hand is up.
Teacher.
Yes, please.
I have to submit my work in that new app that I've told us to download.
You're saying you have not submitted in your work?
No, Opio. I have not understood how they submit.
How they submit work after doing it, eh?
Yes.
Okay. I think that video has got to be recent. There is a video that was made for you people. I believe it has got to be recent. I'll talk to the people concerned here and see whether that video can be recent. Melody.
Teacher, on that prototype thing.
Yes. Yes, Melody. Melody. Oh, I don't know what has happened to Melody. Okay. Pius.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
At the when I went to the Google Class